All right, we are back with the Freedom Framework Show, and today I want to dive deep on a topic that is really important to me, right? This is a framework that I've used in the past for making decisions, and this can apply to anything in life, right? This can apply to a new role you're looking at, a new project you're considering, a new partnership that you may have, right? This can apply to moving somewhere. This can apply to anything in life. It's more so how you go about using it. So it's called the 100-point exercise. And how it works is that you have a decision to make and you may have options in that decision. And there's certain criteria or factors that will impact your decision in a certain way. So what you do is you have 100 total points and you really find what are those top four, five, six, seven, eight things that you're truly measuring and seeing, is this the right fit for me in any decision that you're making? And how it'll work is that once you have those, say, six, seven things, you're giving each of them a score, and their score is their total weight. So, for example, here's actually found an old one from when I was deciding on my next move in the corporate world as to what I did next. And you can kind of see what I really prioritized here. So, on my list, I had six different items, right? Those items were my salary, my total earning potential, upward mobility, who I worked for and my boss, how much freedom I had, and the industry that I was in. And I kept it really simple in terms of my grading scores. So for me, I really cared about two main things because I knew that this would likely be one of the last stops that I made in the corporate world. And I cared about two main things, right? So for me, earning potential and my boss each got 30 points in terms of total weight. So that's 60 out of 100 points was allocated to two main components. Each of the other four were only 10 points each or 40 points in total. And the reason I cared so much about this was that I knew if I was making one last stop in the corporate world, I wanted to work for someone that I can go learn a ton from. And I wanted to make as much money as possible so that I can go make that transition to doing my own thing, right? Working my own business, growing a company, much more seamless, right? The more money you have to do something, usually the better scenario. And working for a boss for me that I knew that I could go build my own thing as long as I held my numbers to a certain standard and I'd have that level of flexibility. So those are the two biggest things I optimized for. So how this exercise works is that of those things, right? So you have your 30, 30, and then four components of 10 points. You start filling that in for you. So for example, for me in this opportunity, the boss was called a 27, 28, right? It was someone I knew very well. I trusted, I really enjoyed working for them. I knew what I was getting myself into, right? The earning potential, it was a big step up in terms of comp package, right? Meaning that if I performed well, I would have meaningful upside to go earn more than that. And everything else kind of filled in, fours to eights, right? The biggest weighting was tied to that. So the total score itself was over 80, which is very, very high in this exercise. Then when comparing with the other options, right? The other smaller areas were performing far better than this opportunity. But the two big areas that I cared about outperformed them so much that this opportunity was a complete no brainer for me. And the reason using a framework like this is that it allows you to be really objective with the decision you're making and be very intentional about how you're structuring it and how you're thinking about it. Right? I know at times decisions, especially the big ones, can be very emotional, hold a very big weight. This isn't a end all be all, but it's a great option for helping get some clarity and applying a level of quantitative measurement to, is this the best opportunity for me, and help you kind of think about it a different way. So I use this rubric and framework all the time. The 100-point exercise has helped me a ton personally, but make decisions in a more clear, rational type way that are data driven to a point. And again, there's no right or wrong answer. All of it really ties to who you are as a person, where you are in your life, and what you're looking to go accomplish by this big decision that you're making. So again, 100-point exercise. I use this all the time. I highly recommend it if you're making a decision. And again, for those who are listening, leave us a 5-star rating and review. Share this podcast with someone who would find value in understanding their framework, right? Understanding how to go create cash flow through ownership, through equity, through buying commercial real estate, through buying small businesses, through building their own opportunities. So again, thanks for listening, and definitely share this with someone who'd find this valuable. And if you're a corporate employee or W-2 employee listening to this show right now and you're considering making a jump, right? Considering leaving the corporate world and building your own business, buying a company, buying real estate, definitely have a conversation with our team, check out the Freedom Framework, right? And really learn more about how we help people go transition from the day job, right, to ownership and equity.